All right, but what's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you and yours. We are live on the Ragni show, and we're doing a free for all. It's one of those episodes where we're just opening our it's not even our airways, if you want to say, or our screens to you. And if you want to come on, just shoot me a message on Facebook, or I'll even drop the link at one point in the description here. And come on, hang out, talk, anything you want, open format. You want to promote something? Just I'm going to try to keep everybody to about 10 minutes so everybody gets a fair shot. And if you haven't done it already, go freaking do it. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm closing in on 1,000. I think I'm like 36 away at this point. So go subscribe to Totally Driven TV on YouTube and get us over the. You gotta love it. There we go. All right, we're back. So, but anyway, my first guest up next to me, I got to say, like, since I moved to Nashville, and it's his fault. If anyone wants to say anything, it's his fault. He's the one that initially got me to come here. This is Chris Cinzak. He's the host of Decibel Geek Podcast, and also the man and the myth, the legend, and creator behind the Rock and Pod Convention. So, Chris, welcome to the show, man.
Oh, thanks for having me on, man. I watch your interviews regularly. I was actually watching the Roy Cathy interview earlier today. That was a really good one.
Yeah, Roy's a great dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got a big, huge interview that you guys just released.
Yeah, part 2 of the 2-part Michael Wagner final interview came out. That was, I'll tell you if you want to hear the backstory behind what happened with that.
I totally do.
Yeah, so, as you probably know, we've had him on the show, several times over the years, and we consider Michael a friend, and certain guests will become friends, not all of them, but certain ones do. And he's one of them. And, we had done not an interview. We'd done an episode called The Producer Switch, and it was Aaron Camaro's idea, where it was like, imagine if, this X producer produced X album, instead of the other producer, like imagine if Bob Ezrin produced Love Gun instead of Eddie Kramer or something like,
right.
And it's like, who would you pick to replace, the producer on an album? Well, obviously, and we each picked like 5 different picks, and obviously Michael came up on both of our lists. And, but it was a fun episode, and like I didn't send it to him or anything. And all of a sudden he sends me a message. He goes, really enjoyed the Producer Switch episode. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm amazed you listened to it. And then he said, I'd like to meet up with you guys. So we met him for lunch and we had Mexican together. And then he told us that he was going to do, he retired earlier this year. And he said, I want to do 2 last interviews. I've already agreed to do Eddie Trunk's show, and I want to give the other one to you guys. And
that's huge.
I could have fallen out of my chair. It was a shocker. And then we went over there and we spent like the whole afternoon with him, and he answered everything we asked him and gave us tons of great stories. And yeah, the feedback's been great for the 2-part episode, and yeah, we're very proud of it.
Dude, that's huge. Like, all right, so when you go to eat food with him, eat Mexican with him, who paid the bill?
Oh, I covered the whole bill. I'm not letting him pay. Are you kidding me? He's giving me the final interview. I have to cover his lunch.
but that it's funny. Before you even get into the Michael Wagner thing, the one thing you say is, and it's so true. Like, from doing these interviews, you become friends with some of these people, and it's got to be shocking. Like, you get random. I'm sure you get it too. Like random text messages or random messages from these people, and you look at your phone and you're like, "How did that happen?"
Yeah, yeah, especially him, because I mean, we throw around that term, the soundtrack of our lives. Well, he literally produced the soundtrack of our lives.
Right.
But yeah, so many amazing stories, and but he's so humble and nice. There's no ego at all with Michael. He could have an ego the size of Texas if he wanted to. He's earned it, but he's just very down to earth guy and just appreciates music and appreciates, all the relationships he's made throughout his career. He did mention a couple of times in the interview writing a book. So I've got my fingers crossed that he will do a book, because we probably barely scratched the surface of stuff we could have talked about.
Yeah, isn't that like how many times have you done one of those interviews, especially when you're doing, a legendary guy like that? Like, do you walk out of there and then you're driving home, you're like, oh shit, I should have asked this. I should have
Oh,
asked this.
every time, every time. And what one thing we've kind of developed a formula where if it's someone who has like a vast catalog of stuff we like, the first interview is always the getting to know you interview, where it's kind of a general overview. And then if that goes well, then it's like, okay, we do these episodes called Albums Unleashed, where we'll focus in on one particular record and interview a person involved in it. And that's usually the plan, is do the getting to know you interview first. And then if we click with the person, then we say, well, let's talk about the making of this record and this one and this one. So that usually leads to other episodes in the future.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Who's on your like dream list of you want top 3?
Oh, there's so many. Well, Alice Cooper, number 1. And I would intentionally ask about the early 80s Blackout albums. That would be, and I'm wearing an Alice Cooper shirt. So that was, I mean, Alice Cooper, and some of my Kiss fan friends are going to hate to hear me say this. I think Alice has pretty much eclipsed Kiss as far as in my echelon of my favorite artists. I still love Kiss, always will, but yeah, Alice Cooper would be one. And then another one, which is probably pretty gettable, I just haven't really made the effort to do it, would be Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy. I'm a huge Thin Lizzy fan. And he was there through so many of the different transitions of the band, and he's somebody I could do multiple Albums Unleashed episodes with that guy. He'd be up there, of course the big ones, Ozzy, and a lot of people are like, oh, but you would like to interview Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons. And it's like, not really, because you're just going to get the same scripted answers. It would have to be with the understanding that we're going to ask stuff that other people don't ask you.
Yeah.
But they tend to go into autopilot very easily.
Yeah.
For producers, Bob Ezrin would be near the top of that list. Not only to talk about Kiss, but to talk about Alice Cooper and Pink Floyd and all that. And then Eddie Kramer, not just to talk about Kiss, but also to talk about Hendrix and Zeppelin and the Stones and all that stuff that he did. We love talking to producers because they tend to have some more in-depth stories, and we like the way the songs and albums are put together. So it tends to be more because the band's there along for the ride. They're just doing their studio work and then they're on the road. So, producers tend to have a sharper memory sometimes.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I like about you guys, because you guys do that different route where you guys do that, more of the producers and stuff like that. It's not like like I do, like I go for the artist. Like you guys go for the producers more than the artists at times.
Yeah, we do both, but I mean, it's just I don't know. The behind the scenes people tend to be more fun to talk to. I mean, so some of our best interviews have been with roadies. We had Moose, who was one of the first Kiss roadies and had just a treasure trove of stories. And we had Pixie Esmond, who was Kiss's wardrobe person for the Dynasty tour. And she had tons of great stories and it was hilarious. So, sometimes the best interviews come out of the lesser known people.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, because they're going to be quicker to talk about the stories than the actual artist.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes and we don't really dig for dirt, but sometimes dirt just pops up, and those are typically the people that will give you the dirt.
Have you had this happen a lot? Like you're in an interview and you get that dirt, which you think in your mind is right away up, because usually 75% of my interviews are music. So I'm like, oh shit, that's a blabbermouth headline right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like all excited, and then when the headline does come out, it's like something totally different in the interview. I'm like, oh yeah, where did that come from?
Yeah, I mean, the times we do get headlines, which is not a lot. We typically don't even send press releases out much, but and Brave Words, I always love Brave Words because they always support us. But Blabbermouth for some reason has an aversion to us. I don't know why. Sometimes they'll pick our stuff up, but it's very few and far between.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, some of those sites, they're looking for what's going to get you to click on it. And and one thing I have noticed from times where our episodes have been picked up by news services, I don't see a giant spike in numbers like I used to. It used to lead more people to listen to the show.
Yeah.
But I think today it's more and more people are just reading those quotes in the few paragraphs and just moving on.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I mean, but also, if we hear something particularly juicy that we think might piss some people off. Either the guest will come to us and say, "Hey, I want that taken out," which we're fine to do because we're not looking to be TMZ. Or sometimes we'll say, "Hey, what about this quote you said here? Do you want that in there or not?"
Mm-hmm.
Just because it just seems like to be the human thing to do. It might hurt our popularity, but I don't care.
See, I only had one time somebody asked me to take something out, and that was KK Downing,
Oh
and he
yeah.
said something about Rob Halford. And then when we got
with
done,
everything with everything that KK said over the past 2-3 years, come on.
well, that's the funny part because this was, I guess, about 4 years ago. This interview,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm seeing, especially like in the last year, he's been doing press and all, and I'm seeing stuff, and I'm like, well, that's a lot worse than what he asked me to take out. Like,
Right. Yeah. It's I guess it just depends on their mood that day.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But I mean,
So
let me ask you something. Like, I mean, you've really taken off a lot doing these interviews on this show. I mean, what's been some of your favorites that you've done lately? I thought the Phil Lewis one was particularly good.
you know what? That was way better than I expected because when I was first trying to get Phil Lewis years ago,
Mhm.
I was warned by the PR person at the time to whatever they said, whatever you do, don't tell Phil you're a podcast because he doesn't like podcasts.
Really?
He thinks they're ridiculous. He thinks it's not real radio. So just whatever you do, don't tell him it's a podcast.
Well, there
So
goes
that's
his Rockin' Pod invitation.
so that's always stuck in my mind. But
Yeah,
now I guess he's kind of like
he's come
realized this.
around.
Yeah. And as soon as he hopped on and we were talking before we went live, I was like, this is a different Phil. Like, I think this is my third interview with him. And last time I interviewed him was right after Bernie Tourme died. So, and I was
Mhm.
tight with Bernie. So we had that connection. But this time there was no connection. It was just, he was like in a good
Yeah.
mood and he was spitting
Yeah.
at the mouth. So it was good.
Well, I mean, and they're a Frontiers band now, and
Yeah.
I'm connected to a few people from Frontiers, and they are more than aware of the impact that podcasting can have on
Oh,
record
yeah.
sales. So I'm sure they probably kind of educated him about, hey, they're not quite as amateur as they used to. Now there's still a lot of amateur ones out there, but they're a lot more powerful than they used to be.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. The one thing though that bums me out with LA Guns, and I love LA Guns, one of my
Me
favorite bands of
too.
all time. Um, I used to be tight with Tracy at one time.
Oh yeah.
Like we did some killer interviews back in the day, and um, we used to like text a lot and email a lot, and then he just kind of like when him and Phil got back together, like he don't answer my emails now, and
Hmm.
I've texted him a few times. The only thing he did answer me to was on Instagram a few years back. He was going through like he was collecting 8 tracks,
Hmm.
and my daughter gave me an 8 track to the Godfather movie, this
Oh,
soundtrack.
cool.
So
Yeah.
I shot him a message. I'm like, dude, I don't want this. Do you want this? He was like, oh my god, yeah. So I
Yeah.
mailed it out to him. That's the last I heard from him though. I'm like
That's
dying to do
cool.
another interview with him though.
Yeah, no, he's one I've always wanted to interview myself. But it's funny you mentioned 8 tracks. I've got it's a 1974 RCA console stereo that it's like it looks like it's wood, but it's plastic, and it's in rough shape, but it's got an 8 track on it. And I for some reason I hadn't really noticed it. The other day I was like, maybe I should start buying 8 tracks. And my wife's eyes about rolled back of her head. Like, God, you're gonna collect something else now.
Something
Wonderful.
more?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. So, but before I let you go, Rockin' Pod 2022. Do you have
Mhm.
any info that you can release to us yet?
Not too much. I'm scouting a venue next week and meeting with them about possible dates. And
Okay.
it's one that it's an event. It's a different venue than last year. We might still go back to Hilton. I don't know, but I owe it to the event itself to scout other locations just to be sure. And but yeah, I'm not going to say what I'll tell you off air. But yeah, we're looking at it. Possibly August, but more than likely might be early September next year.
Ooh,
Yeah, and
interesting.
and I'll tell you plenty off air, but I can't say anything publicly right now. But there's a wish list of guests. There's people we've contacted, but nothing confirmed that I can say so yet.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well, anything I can do to help, always count me in.
great. Well, thanks for having me on tonight. It's been fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude, we gotta do this again. And I was even thinking, I told you what's his name wanted to come on too, but he was actually
Yeah,
going to a
Chuck.
baseball game. We should do like a 3-way between the
Sure.
3 of us. You
Well,
know,
I
and
don't know
get
about doing a 3-way with you guys. I mean,
well,
I
you know,
like you and all, but
but let's make it a 4-way and get Aaron on here too, and just have some fun one night and really
oh,
talk some
sure.
shit and have a
I'm
blast.
always down to talk rock. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Awesome. All right, Chris, dude, you the man. And yeah, I want to say this publicly too. This dude, like, since I've come to Nashville, um, he's not been just like this guy here next to me and talking, music and stuff like that. He's like gone above and beyond and tried to help me get stuff and personal stuff and help me. And I am forever always grateful for you, Chris, not only for your friendship, but everything you've done for me. And you are truly a man of my heart always.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. It was great to meet you when you came in for Rockin' Pod, and it was almost like fate, because you won the contest, and then you got down here, and then when you was like, "I'm thinking about moving here," and I just, with as much, I know your interests pretty well, and I was like, he's gonna love Nashville. So I was just over the moon when I heard that you were gonna move, and it's worked out so great. You got the love of your life now, and then
Yeah,
things have worked out wonderful for you.
it's crazy how everything worked out. Yeah, it's beautiful, and thanks
Fantastic. Oh, happy. I'm just happy to be a cog in the wheel, brother.
That's it, man. All right, brother. Well, let's talk soon. And one of these days, we got to go out and eat and have a real ball.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're the restaurant review guy, so I got to hang out with you sometime.
There you go, for sure. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, man.
Hey. Plugs. Give your plugs out. Come on. Where's everybody go?
Oh, okay. Well, when stuff's announced for Rockin' Pod, go to rockinpod.com. Right now, it just has last year's stuff, but we'll have details soon. And then obviously decibelgeek.com for all the episodes. And we're on Stitcher, we're on Spotify, we're on Pantheon Podcast Network. We're everywhere that free podcasts are sold.
Awesome. There you go. All right, Chris. I'll talk to you
later.
Bye. All right. There he goes. Chris Cinzak. And it took me a while. I remember the first time I interviewed Chris before I came to Nashville a few years ago. That was the very first question I asked him. I'm like, how do you pronounce your last name? I could not figure it out, and it's a lot easier than it looks. So, but all right, before we get to our next guest, let me just check, see if I have any messages from anybody, see if anybody wants to get on here. Look at that. Nobody messaged. Let me get this link so I can send the people so I'm ready. I'm going to drop the comment in here. Got a couple people waiting patiently. And all right. Do this. This is me trying to multitask. All right, let's multitask with this dude, a longtime friend of mine, and also he just starts like shave the fucking beard, LJ. Shave the fucking beard.
What?
What is that?
It is.
It is. I love this fucking guy, but shave the fucking beard. I'll love you more.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't know, this is LJ, otherwise Little John, bassist extraordinaire from the band Rat Rod in the Philadelphia
bassist.
area.
We'll just leave it at bassist.
I saw you made the cover of that wonderful magazine.
Our boy Will wants a copy. He's like, dude, I want it framed and signed.
That's awesome. So the big show Friday night, he's wearing the shirt.
Our boys.
That's it.
It's almost like you set it up.
Almost.
Yep.
Right?
We got them coming back. Them Alpha Rockers from West Virginia.
I'm so excited for you guys and them and Instinct and Candy Cigarettes. It's going to be a freaking killer show. The only thing that bums me out is I'm not going to be there to see it.
You're out there.
Yeah.
Well, look at it this way. We started trying to work with people. I mean, anytime Adam calls up and says, hey, do something. I mean, we learned the first time. You do something. So, we've been kind of working a lot with Instinct, and it seems to be a good fit now. And our friend Johnny Douglas and Candy Cigarettes and them guys, great power pop band, big South Street thing. So hopefully we can wrap everything together and do a full, well-rounded everything from power pop to Zodiac Mind Warp hip hop or hick music.
Yeah, I love that review. How about that one?
Dude, like Zodiac Mime was one of my favorite bands, so it's right up there. I was like, all right, I can't disagree with that.
How about that?
So, and the interview with Adam the other day was freaking awesome.
You know what? Like he's freaking hysterical, and we can just have so much fun with that dude. And I'm real. Like I said, I'm really jealous. You guys are gonna be hanging out on Friday night, not only for some great music and rock and roll, but freaking
Hanging out.
good times, hanging out. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
again, when we first asked you to help us out and manage us, the first thing we said was we're fans of the 80s wrestling heels. And me and Mark do that all the time. And he personifies it. He's 100%. So it's I love hanging with him. I had a blast the last time. I wish we could do it more often.
Right, right. And Friday night, there's a special rule about Friday night show at the Rusty Nail in Ardmore, Pennsylvania. No jabronis allowed. Can't be a,
Nope.
can't be a jabroni.
Nope. No jabronis. You know
If
that.
jabronis pay double, so it's $20.
Probably a lot of people will be sneaking in the back door.
Oh man! So what else is going on in the Rat Rod world that you can fill us in on? I know there's going to be a new album at some point.
You heard the very basic scratch stuff. It's getting close. Was talking to Mark today about something kind of special if it happens. There might be there might be someone helping us out, so we got our fingers crossed to see what happens. Can't really say anything yet because we haven't fully discussed it, but this album is gonna, I think, be the next level. We learned a lot from our last one. We got some reviews from some people who we all look up to. And as much as we love the last album, and I think it's a great album, we got some eye-opening news. So we kind of went back and learned a few things. And I think once everybody hears this, and I'm sure you'll be hearing it soon, there'll be something popping up in your email. Once we get it where we like it, it's big.
So again, like I love, I get to do these interviews and then I get teased with all this information, and then I'm gonna be getting these inboxes with all the inside dirt. So fill me in on the inside dirt when you can.
I will. I will. We'll talk.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what have you been up to? Anything good?
Doing the Nashville thing. I'm trying to I had another meeting today. I'm doing like vendor events now. So December 19th is the next vendor event for Nashville Restaurant Review. We're doing a Christmas Village with another Philly connection. So through mutual friends, I met this guy who was moving from Philly down here, and I got him hooked up with a job. And he's the GM of this restaurant now, and we're doing a big vendor event at his restaurant, and it's going to be December 19th. And yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and we got other stuff in the works. The whole Cocoa Bay world of reselling and doing diet now.
Hey, I bought something.
I know. You're a customer. You are a customer.
I'm not just a friend. I'm a customer.
He is a customer. That's true.
Yeah, it's we need to get a little Philly package down and maybe do some stuff around in Nashville, like maybe a little trip with a couple of our friends.
There's actually what's her name's playing here next Wednesday night at a club I never even heard of that I'm going to try to go check out. I'm hoping I can make it. Junkyard.
Oh, dude, we were in talks to open for them back in the summer, and they just couldn't get the promoter and the and Junkyard couldn't get on the same page. so it didn't happen. But that would have been fun.
Yeah, that'd be a perfect lineup for you guys.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, hey, Rhino Bucket, Junkyard, we'll play with anybody.
There you go. There you go. Cool. So, all right. So, where should we send everybody to get tickets lined up for Friday night? If advanced tickets, if they want to get them, or
If they want advance tickets, ratrodrocks.com has them. You could hit any one of us up through our Facebook. Let us know, or just come out. You know, there's going to be, you know, you can pay at the door. Just come on out and have a good time. That's all we ask. Just come out, rock. You know, let's just do this and have fun. That's what it's all about.
And what time does the show start?
I think it starts at 7. I haven't got
early show.
Yeah, we got 4 bands, so we're starting a little early.
Good deal.
I'm really bad with reading my emails with the itinerary for stuff, because usually, like, everybody's like, "Where are you playing?" And I find out Thursday at rehearsal. Oh, we're there this weekend. Oh, damn it! So, you know, it's a little easier now that I'm only in one band. With the two bands, I never knew what I was doing or what I had to wear.
Well, get your clothes ready. Know what you got to wear. Be there Friday night, 7:00, Rusty Nail, Ardmore, Pennsylvania, and go see 4 killer bands and get ready to rock with the Alpha Rock Supreme of Scattered Hamlet and the Boys,
Yeah.
Rat Rod, Instinct, and Candy Cigarettes. And somebody drink a beer from me, or if you want to do a shot, even do that even better.
Dude, we'll FaceTime you.
Do it for real.
Yep, dude. It's
All
like with Instinct and the Candy guys. It's like 1985 all over again.
It's a beautiful thing.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, take care, bro.
Enjoy.
Yep. Tell everybody I was asking for him.
You got it, brother. Everybody sends their love.
Back at you. All right. There he goes, LJ from Rat Rod. We got, oh boy, I can't wait for this guest to come on. I've interviewed some of the top people in the world of entertainment, but I'm taking it a step further this time. Are you ready for this? The one and only Santa Kringle. Look at this.
Oh, hello, my friend. How are you?
Santa, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I was flying near your old haunt in New Jersey, and I figured, hey, let me check in on you while I'm flying home to the North Pole, and I saw you had an open spot, so I said, let me talk to my old friend Bay.
That's it, Santa. You are the man. Thank you so much. Look at you. You're out there, and I know you're spreading joy and happiness, not only to the kids all over everywhere, but the adults as well.
That's what it's all about. Oh, excuse, well, low-flying airplane. Watch yours. I'm flying here, fella. Jersey drivers.
Oh, boy.
Did you see that fly right over? Oh, boy.
I saw
yeah,
something.
I know, comment. I know. Keep my eyes on the road. You're driving. Okay, there we go. Okay. Boy, reindeer, they become divas.
So, Santa, we are now officially in December. Do you feel the stress and pressure even more now as we're getting closer to your big day?
Absolutely not. There's no labor shortage at the North Pole, trust me.
How'd you swindle that?
I got 1 million elves, and those little guys and gals love working, and they love making toys and cookies and shoes and whatever else they're making and doing. I mean, the Santa Village is a self-sufficient, very well-run place, you know. That's why I tried to run for president a couple of years ago to help you guys out.
I think we need you to run again in 2024. I think some people missed that those signs and posters of you running.
Well, you know what they say: vote Santa, make America merry again.
Mama, right?
That's right.
So what can you tell us what the what's the big toy in demand this year?
Well, the big thing for a lot of children is the PS5. And I'm going to tell a lot of the children and parents that unfortunately the elves can't make enough of them. So There may not be under the Christmas tree, but at some point they'll be out. You'll be able to see them. That's the big. And then of course the children have there's Paw Patrol is still very big, and Barbies have never lost their swagger after all these years.
That's amazing, isn't it?
You know what? It's a toy that entices the imagination, and I think stuff like that can never go out of style.
Yeah, even with they had competition over the years from like Bratz and Monster High and stuff like that, but they have all gone by the wayside, and Barbie still keeps running strong.
Because it represents a different time, and it also represents good things. Barbie has changed with the times, which is always good. And it's just a child can sit there and play with the play sets and the cars, and it just makes the imagination go to places that that is great for children. Instead of just sitting in front of a video game and bip, 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 bip. Not that there's anything wrong with video games. Santa plays them. But, I encourage the children to read a good book. Legos, I love that. Legos are still very popular, and there's new sets every year, and you can have fun. And the best thing about Legos, and I tell the children this, is you can mix and match your favorite things. Like you can have Spider-Man invade Harry Potter. You can have Batman go after Darth Vader, and you can just have so much fun. So I encourage the parents, to get toys that spark the imagination and the creativity, and so.
Look at you. So where are you? I don't know if you can fill us in, but where are you actually on your way to now?
Back to the North Pole. I was in Jersey at a youth hockey, and they if I can get it here, and I don't know if I can safely grab it. Give it, Bernard. Let it go. My elf Bernard. He's fighting with me. He's fighting. They I don't, if you can see it, it's there it is. They gave me a custom candy cane hockey stick.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I will be flying down to Philadelphia next week to be with our friends on This Fan's View.
Oh, yes.
With Dave the Hammer Schultz.
That's amazing.
So I think I'm going to bring the hockey stick, and see if Mr. Schultz wants to put a inscription on there for old Santa. And if not, we may have to.
Are you going to make the Hammer drop the gloves like he used to back in the day?
Well, I play hockey myself at the North Pole, which a lot of people don't know. I play for the North Pole Knicks. And unfortunately, the only people we have to play at the North Pole are elves, who've never scored on me, and the polar bears. And until you've thrown down with a polar bear, you ain't gotten into a hockey fight. Boy, them fellas are surprisingly fast on ice.
Oh, scary but true.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't play with the Penguins anymore. They cheat. I hear they do the same thing in Pittsburgh.
How about that? So, where are you going to be? Making any true public appearances that the public can come out and see you?
Yes. This Saturday, from 2:30 to 4:30, I will be on South Street lighting the tree as I've done for many years.
Nice.
It is a free event. Of course, you come out, get your picture taken, see Santa, and just come out and say hello. Now, on later that day, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., I will be lighting the tree in Jenkintown. JTP. Wow. I'm required to say that. And again, it's a free event. It's the whole town shows up, and if I can digress here, the Jenkintown it reminds you of an old time Christmas where the whole town comes out to the center square with the tree and the photos.
Oh, nice.
And they drive me around town on a vintage fire truck. And it's just a wonderful time. So even if you're not from Jenkintown, come down, experience it. Remember, the holidays are not just about presents. They're about family, friends, and love. And
Absolutely.
come down with your family, experience the magic, and remember what it's all about before you get lost in the shopping and the commercializations, that thing. And just take a picture. Oh, and something else I like to tell everyone: come down and ready for a photo with your family, because never, never, never turn down the chance to have a photo with a loved one, because not everybody's like Santa. They're not going to be around forever.
That's true. So true. Very, very powerful words there, Santa.
Well, thank you. I've been around a while. I have stuff.
he's he's got stuff. Well, speaking of stuff, you're also. How can people get hold of you? I know you are actually unbelievably, but you are on TikTok.
I am. I just posted a video that hit 15,000 views in the last couple hours. So it's TikTok Santa Kringle. There's only one. and you will notice that I do a lot of videos that where I speak directly to the children, because I want to encourage them not only to believe in the magic of the world, but to believe in themselves.
Beautiful.
I posted a video last year that had almost over 250,000 views, and it was all about not getting discouraged on social media. If you're posting something and you love what you're doing, even if you only make one person happy, you're doing a great job. And I want people to know that, because I know, everyone's about the views and this and that. And hey, even Santa has some stuff that people don't want, but it's okay, because you know what? I know I'm still reaching out to some people. And again, if it's just one, then you've done a wonderful job. So you can Santa Kringle on TikTok and on Instagram. And of course, you could always find me on Facebook at Santa Kringle Visits and Messages from the North Pole.
Santa, beautiful message as always, powerful messages as always. I want to say thank you for taking time out of your super busy schedule to come on here. And I love you, Santa.
I love you too, my friend. And you never know, a Santa buddy maybe make its way down to Nashville for you.
Hey, you better be swinging by Nashville on Christmas Day. I hope to have some gifts under my tree.
Well, have you seen this? Have you seen the Santa buddies?
I did. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
They are, children love them. And if I can digress for a second, I am the first Santa to have his image enshrined like that.
Now,
So,
I got to ask you, Santa, when the elves made those for you, and you saw them in your hand, it had to bring like a tear to your eye. They're amazing.
it did, because you see a generic face, and I'll tell you, there was a little guy that received one, and the look on his face, and because his parents bring him to visit me, and he just couldn't stop talking about how it was really Santa. And I have to give a shout out to my friends, the brothers Gador, for that. They did a wonderful job, and that was with the help of our good friend the Blue Meanie.
Absolutely.
My other favorite. So I got to get a Blue Meanie buddy and have him in the Santa buddy. Well, he's going to have to put the Santa buddy over, because he's not laying down for anyone.
Too funny. Well, Santa, I want to thank you again for doing this, taking time out of your busy schedule, because you are the busiest person in the month of December for sure. And we hope to see more of you much more soon. And don't hurt Dave Schultz next week.
I won't. And like I said, have the children follow me on TikTok and Instagram. It's all 100% family friendly, family interactive. I encourage them to send me messages. I do try to answer each and every message. Sometimes it gets a little overwhelming and it may take me a little while, but I do. I always acknowledge everyone that comments on all the videos, and it takes a while, but you know what? I want people to know that Santa cares, and I'm there, and the children could always message me.
That's beautiful. Keep it up, Santa. You're doing beautiful things.
And give my love to Coco now.
I will. I will. She's gonna be so happy that you were on here.
And give Frank a big hug for me too.
Oh, he will be even happier.
All right, my friends. Bye now.
Bye. All right, well, there he goes, the one and only Santa Kringle. Not many people can say they have the one and only Santa on their show. And not many people can also say they have this guy on their show as well. The one and only Hub.
Here I am, everybody.
There he is.
In Texas, this is not a horn. This is actually hook 'em horns, because it's really the Spaniards brought the longhorns to Texas back in the day. Can you hear me very well?
So, how are you? This guy. Let me say real quick about this guy. Like I talked good words, especially about Chris at the beginning of the show. This guy is another beautiful, amazing human being who, through the world of podcasting, I've become friends with, and he just his words of encouragement are always so beautiful and meaningful, and I can never thank him enough.
Well, you've been a real friend to me too, Bay, so I appreciate you, and I can't say enough about you too, buddy.
Thank you. So how's things down there? How's the van coming along? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's actually two vans. I have an express van and I have an Astro van, and it's coming along really good. I'm trying to get in a good position here for the people on TV land. It's coming across really good. I got the Lear Corporation, which is not the Lear jet. They make seats for cars.
Okay, yeah.
And I got that out of another express van at the junkyard, and they look actually like airplane seats.
Okay.
And it's for one of those custom vans.
Nice.
And it came out of a custom van at the junkyard, and they were in great shape too. And so we put those in, and again, that's a 20-year-old. It's got 180,000 miles on it, but it's got the Chevy engine in that can last up to 400,000 or 500,000 miles if you take really, really good care of it, because that's a 4.3 V6. And they really, at that time in the 90s and the early 2000s, Chevy was really at a great engine building at that time. The design for that engine is, you probably know because you were in the car business at one time.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it amazing, like how some of these cars and some of these engines they truly can just go forever, and then some will just clunk out in no time.
Well, I used to know a guy who worked on Slurpee machines and soft serve machines, which are kind of the same thing. And every time somebody would say, "How long is my Slurpee machine going to last?" He'd say, "I can't tell you that. It's mechanical." So you say that about anything electrical, mechanical, anything like that. You never know how long, but you can have a ballpark figure, even though we're not talking about Yankee Stadium.
So what else you been up to? I know you've been working on the van, and you've been what else you been doing?
Both vans. I've been working on the Astro van and the Express van.
Okay.
The Astro van is a 97, and the Express van is a 2001. And hopefully they'll last a lot longer. So it's just a matter of getting those going, and we've been doing it. We've been just revamping it. I mean, also changed the radios, just doing everything I could think of to make them really nice, because, it's an older vehicle, but if you can make that last, because, guys are out there using them like crazy and they want to buy them from you.
Oh, absolutely.
Construction guys. I've seen construction guys with the Soccer Mom van from the 90s, like I got, had the windows all the way around. That was supposed to be a family Scooby-Doo van for the family soccer mom. And these guys got their ladder rack on the top, and they got all that stuff. They're using it for construction because the engine lasts so long, and the parts are readily available because it's basically a truck. It's a truck frame with a van built on top.
Yep.
And they just kind of last forever, and you can still buy the engine if you need to buy the engine. They just kind of last forever.
I'll tell you what, back when I was, in the Philadelphia area and I was selling cars during the day, that was our biggest thing that we sold was vans. Mm-hmm. We used to get either the work cargo vans in, and mm-hmm. we were pumping them out all the time, or we'd come across like the old Astro vans like you have, mm-hmm. and they would go like that. People love those things, and I love me personally. I always thought the Astro van was the coolest looking minivan. I always wanted one.
Well, and the thing is that there are a bunch of Facebook pages with Astro van and Express mm-hmm. too, and so people are still enjoying them. And so it's kind of like a truck and a van. Those kind of things are really hot, but a van, you can do so much with them. And I love going to the junkyard and just looking at the old vans. They've got the really, really cool hippie vans from the 70s, Fords, and all kinds of different models. And I just love to see how they were painted and things that were painted on the side of them. It's just really, really interesting.
Yeah. I would love to get one and do it up like the old 18 van.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw one that was done, a Rastro van that was done up just like Scooby-Doo van.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll send you pictures of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was on the Ohio Astro Van Facebook page.
Oh, that's awesome. But how about, were you like a fan of like the old 70s vans?
I love watching that stuff. I mean, even though I wasn't into vans at that time, I just love watching videos about those old vans.
Yeah.
And I love seeing them. I mean, all the different brand, the Fords and the Chevys and all the different, I just love that. Because it was just it was like a Grateful Dead caravan of vans. And but it wasn't just that, it was disco too. Mm-hmm. And people had actually disco balls in the van.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's funny. Back when I was probably about 18 years old, 17, 18 years old. I was driving for like a year or two, and I was like in a kick. Like I really wanted to get a van from like the 70s. And a friend of mine had like a late 70s van. It wasn't like done up or nothing, but it had the potential to be done up. And I was like scared to buy it. I'll never forget. All he wanted was $300 for it, and I was scared to spend the $300 on. I was like, I don't know, it might be too much money. You think of that today, $300 for a car.
Exactly, and cars have gone up a lot since the recent events in the world, and so used cars. Mm-hmm. I knew a guy in San Diego. His parents would come to visit, and so one year he bought a car so that they could drive instead of renting one. So he just said, I'm just going to go on Craigslist and buy a car. And so he'd buy a car on Craigslist, and then he ended up doing that every year instead of renting. And every time he bought the car, he ended up selling it for more than he bought it after his parents left for Christmas.
Wow. See, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful
so how are
thing.
you doing on drifting and stuff? You're just so busy on so many projects. I mean, you've got so many plates spinning. It's just amazing.
It's kind of funny because we really, honestly, really haven't even gone out thrifting in probably over a month. And we had like an inventory. We were up to almost 800 items on eBay for sale. And we kind of just like sat back last month and trying to just blow stuff out. We're down now to about 630. So sales are still going. But actually, Coco was out a little while ago, and she was out doing some thrifting for us. So,
do you mind talking about the other projects you're working on?
Well, yeah, I'll talk about anything.
Because you didn't mention that at all to anybody. And
so we just we did some more voiceovers yesterday. We did 25 more voiceovers yesterday. We're doing for an insurance company now.
Yeah. And that's because every time they send them to you, you want to get them out as quick as possible, because that's going to be
Absolutely.
money right there.
Absolutely.
And you told me, and I said, are those guys, are they real appreciative, and are they happy about what you're doing? And you said, man, these guys are over the moon about it.
Yeah, they said, we got the email yesterday morning, since you guys turned in the ones the other day so quick, here's 25 more. We're like, yes. So we got them done yesterday and submitted. We got done last night at 5 of 12, and we're like, all right, we're in just under the wire. Hopefully, when we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll have more, and we didn't have none yet. So, but they're like I think they're in Australia, the company. So we're hoping they're like 6 to 8 hours ahead of us. So we're hoping to have more soon, hopefully in the morning.
Well, now you said you did it first. It was for a bank.
Yeah, the first project we were on was for a bank. Now that project's done. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's for an insurance company, but the same company that's contracting us to do it is.
Okay, so it's a company that hires people to do voiceovers, and then they're finding you jobs.
Yeah.
So it's a different company. So the first one was in the UK.
Yeah, it's the same company is hiring us. They just give us different contracts. Like the first one was for the bank. Now the next contract we're on is this insurance company, and they said they have a couple other contracts coming up after that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a testament to a good woman, because she knows how to take your talent. A woman is really good at strategizing. She'll figure out how your talent is, and she'll figure out how to work it. Because here's the thing, she's reading the script more and you're improvising. But she knows, my wife did that too. When we first got married, she thought, what do I do when I married this guy? And then all of a sudden this guy's into music, and she starts like making it way bigger than it would have been without her around.
That's awesome.
And because I was doing stuff before I was married, but once I got married, she really bumped it up a notch.
That's exactly what's happening here.
The old saying is that a man marries a woman hoping that she will never change, and a woman marries a man hoping to change him. And there's some truth in that, because notice how they're always changing our clothes, thinking how we can change our clothes. And I mean, let's see how we can make this Volkswagen into a Maserati. I mean, they're going to do it. They're going to bump it up. That's a good woman.
That's true. That's true. And you know what? That woman deserves for us to get bumped up a little.
That's true. She does. She does. But they know how to do it, and that's why we need them.
Said a mouthful there.
Yeah, that's why we need them. So are you? I think you probably are going to do both, which is a great idea to do both. And then also you got your restaurant thing. So you got so many irons in the fire.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier. So we started doing these vendor events now. We did our first one a few weeks ago at a place called Fat Cat Slim's, and we got contacted by another place called the Mainstay Restaurant.
Tell us what your event is, babe.
So it's making a Christmas village of vendors. So we're going to have, last one we had 20 vendors. This one we can go up to 30 vendors.
Okay, it sounds like a fair, like a
kind
fair.
Of.
And then each restaurant brings like a hot pot of food or something, or like.
Well, actually, the restaurant is supplying us with their area that the vendors can set up, and each vendor will have whatever they sell. Some are like jewelry vendors, some make home goods, some do baked goods, kind of like a little street fair.
So this is like sort of like a street fair inside of a restaurant.
Outside.
Okay, so outside of a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And so, how many vendors? You've got 11 or 12 per. Who hires the vendors?
I do.
How do you get them?
Through the world of social media.
Yeah, and so do you go to them, or do they come to you?
They come to me.
Yeah, because they see you on Restaurant Review.
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a great idea to start that Restaurant Review thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we have that, and we're doing the Restaurant Review videos, which and we're doing Cocoa Bay videos, and we're doing these videos, and yeah.
But here's the key is like, you see bands that they have one hit song,
Mm-hmm.
and they can become more successful if they would make more songs similar to that, and they would try to get some more hits. Okay. And then if they can get more hits, then they can do what they want to do. You see what I mean? So it's better to do the thing that's going to make you some hits or get you some money, and then you can do the things that you want to do.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, because if you're going to just be an artist and just try all different kinds of things, then you might not ever make the kind of money you need to make. But then if you make more money, you can do some of the things you want to do too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's sad but true, but you need that money to make the things happen.
But so it seems like, uh, where do you think you're leading to, or you just don't know? Because I mean, we're in a complete new world now that we're like COVID, everything. Like there's a saying that whenever you have a problem, when that problem is over, you're going to be a different person than you were before you had that problem.
Mm.
So, and that was from a minister, Robert Schuller, always said that. Anytime you have a problem, there's one thing for sure is that when you're done with that problem, you're not going to be the same as you were before you had the problem. So now we had this COVID thing, and we're coming out of it to the other side, and so many things are changing, so many opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it's amazing what's happened to us because of that.
Absolutely.
We know what's going to turn into. But so what do you see yourself doing? I mean, you don't know, but like like right now, what does it seem to be the most promising right now for you?
I see the world of Bay Ragni is going to be filled with a world of Cocoa Bay reselling,
Yeah.
as well as Cocoa Bay doing the Nashville restaurant review, which is leading into these vendor events, and also the world of the Bay Ragni show, which also in turn has us doing our voiceover job and everything else. So
Okay.
we have our, like you said, our hands are in all these different outlets. And
Now you said you're starting is it a new YouTube channel that you're going to start? Because are you going to just mainly focus on music interviews? Because it seems to me, if you can, and I know this, a lot of people might not want to hear this, but if you can focus on the bigger names,
Mhm.
you're going to get more blabbermouth and metal sucks and all that kind of stuff attention, and that's kind of what you need.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
That's absolutely true, and
What
that's
you
why I
think-
have been trying to focus more on more popular names, and also too I don't want to limit just to music. I do want to do more TV and movies and sports and stuff like that as well. And
you put that on the same channel?
yes,
Okay.
yes. But
Because
I also have a new show that's I'm going to hopefully have confirmed hopefully tonight or tomorrow. I have a new it's going to be a monthly show that's going to be tentatively starting next week. Was the start date me and this person decided on, and it's actually going to be a partial a business show discussing the world of some business things that this person has a company in, and we're going to mix it in with worlds of lifestyle, like food and entertainment and stuff like that. So
it sounds like you're like sort of the host of this thing, and it's kind of his show. Is that right?
absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
And so, because I remember you saying on Facebook that you were going to start a new show, and I had no idea what it was going to be. So that's interesting. So it would be like this is some guy's infomercial type thing, sort of, for his business, and he's using you as somebody to make it entertaining.
Absolutely, exactly right.
Oh man, you're coming out the other side and looking like a rose. I mean, now was this somebody local, or you can't say right now?
Not in Nashville, back in the Philadelphia area, old friend of mine, and yeah, he came to me with this idea he wanted to do, and we talked about it, and we have some more talking to do about it, but we got a cool show name for it, and Yeah.
Can you say anything about it, or do you just need to tease us a little more about it? That revealed? Can you say like what kind of business it is or anything?
It's real estate.
Okay. So this is going to be, wow, these people are really recognizing your talent. You know, one time I saw this Wayne Newton special. It was like how all these people were auditioning him to be their mentor, to be a star. Did you ever see that show?
No.
It was an infomercial, and they were trying to be a star, and some girl tried to get some other guy in trouble so she could get ahead and everything like this. And Wayne Newton told her, he said, you know, this is when she got kicked off the show, because they kick one off every show. You know, these shows like this.
Yeah.
And he said, here's what you're doing. You're looking for angles to try and manipulate your way to the top. Don't do that. Don't try to get angles. He said, work on your talent, develop your talent, and it will never fail you.
Sure.
So you can see how your talent is paying off, and we're coming out the other side of this thing where there was really nothing going on, and now everything none of this stuff would have happened before, because
you're 1,000% correct. If it wasn't honestly for the pandemic and COVID, none of this stuff would be happening.
No, it wouldn't happen. It's the zeitgeist. The zeitgeist is what's going on out there in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened during quarantine was that, I mean, I'm talking about everybody and their cousin and brother were coming out with a rock and roll podcast type thing.
Yep.
Now, a good portion of them weren't very good. And at the time we thought, oh, well, Bay's, we even talked about this. Bay's not going to, it's just, there's too many people doing it, and that's going to leave me in the dust. We talked about that. You were going to just focus on thrifting and other stuff, because you didn't, you even told me podcasting doesn't make any money, but now it looks like it's paying off, because your cream is rising over the top of everybody else's that's out there. And it's made, all the different people have made a bigger market. Would you agree with that? So now
I totally agree.
It's made your cream rise to the top of the bigger market, which completely unpredictable. We both discussed it. We didn't think it was going anywhere.
It's true. It's very true. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, wow, we did have that conversation.
Yeah, we did. We did. At the time, that was the right thing to do, but you never know what's around the corner, do you?
It's true. That's so true.
Yeah, it's really amazing. So I just thought that I was just really amazed. I didn't know that was going to be this kind of an infomercial real estate type thing that you're going to do with this guy. And I thought maybe you were going to revamp your Totally Driven type thing.
Well, the Totally Driven, it's basically just being the home now for, the Bay Ragni show and this new show, and when I host my Nashville Restaurant Review show.
That new show is going to be on there too.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so once you get, will you, like, let's say if you have, would you consider like having lesser rock names on a different channel and having the big names on your Totally Driven Bay Ragni show?
You know what? I've been having this conversation a lot about the different channels, actually, with some, like we've talked about, like the reselling with some reselling YouTubers. And because I've come to learn that some of them have different channels and they explain the reasons why. And I would keep everything on the Totally Driven one because it's all kind of along the same format.
The same format. But here's the thing. If, like, I don't know, it just seems like everybody's going to tell you to focus, but what works for you is not going to work for another person.
Right. Yeah, it's true. And plus, it also too, like, I mean, it's kind of crazy too. Like at the same time, like right now, like I'm closing in on the 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel finally, and like before we went live, I was 36 away, and it's like I have 2,400 friends on Facebook. It's like what out of all those friends, couldn't everybody just give me a subscription? You know what I mean? Like you gotta like fight every day. Like, come on, I need 30 something people. Give me a like, please.
Well, I kind of know you now, and I know it's a little hard for you to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with your friends and the musicians that are there, you don't want to impose on anybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It just seems like maybe like because I know you like to help out local bands,
Mm-hmm.
and for like a national networking thing where like when you live in Nashville, you're still in Philly, kind of, and I'm here in Dallas, but I'm still in San Diego because I'm in contact with all my friends in San Diego. So
It's funny. I'm not going to put his. I should put his name up. I have a PR person calling me right now.
you got to go to them.
No, it's all right.
Okay. Okay. So it seems like you really like to help out local bands.
Yeah.
But
I've always been a big supporter of the local music scene, throughout the Philadelphia area, and as well as, oh look, you got a message. You got a message on here, not me. You got a message.
what message should I get?
Can you see it?
Meeting you, Nam in 28. Oh yeah. Oh, I love him. I love Chris Cinzak. Man, that guy. I messaged him before the NAM show, and I said we were going to be there and we'll get to meet. And him and his brother and Rick Fox came out and we hung out together. And
That's awesome.
It gave me and my wife a big hug. And he's just a fantastic guy. I love him.
Chris is amazing. I love him too.
And he's a great interview. So
absolutely.
Tell him it was really nice meeting him too.
That's awesome. You guys got to come down here to Nashville.
Yeah, it's not that far. It's not that far. We'll get out there soon.
Get in that van after it's all done and drive it on over.
Yeah, one of the vans.
Exactly.
And hit some flea markets and do thrifting on the way too, so you can make some money at the same time.
There you go. And we'll film it all. It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. So do you think with local bands, you're going to keep them on the Bay Ragni show, or do you you put a second show for them or not?
No, I'm just I did before I was doing when I did Totally German Radio for years, and then I was like, I'm doing so much music. Let me make the TDR Rock show separate. I'm just everything's all under the Bay Ragni show banner now, and just doing it that way.
Mm-hmm. And keep that name we came up with, the Rock of the Bay or the Rock of Bay, because you're going to use that for something eventually, I would say. It seems like anything you do, you end up, it transforms into something else, or you use it for something else.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, all worlds come together.
Exactly. So I thought we were going to talk about thrifting and stuff like that, but you never know what's going to happen here.
You never know. And actually, I'm ready to wind it up. So if there's anything you wanted to say before we hop off.
Okay. So keep in touch, brother, and
always.
It's good talking to you.
I'm glad you hopped on and you hung out through all the previous guests too.
Yeah, and so who's our next guest coming up?
This is it. Nobody else wanted to come on, I guess. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I remembered last time I was thinking, if he keeps going, and at the end, I said I'm going to call back and interview Bay. I want to know about what he's doing. So, and because I don't think everybody knows about the voiceover thing.
No, I've told you, and now people who've watched this, they know we do voiceover work. So.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, is that the improvising thing is something that's highly sought after, because these guys they desperately need somebody who can do that.
I'll tell you what, we should, I don't know if we could film it and release it because of the company's name and all, but maybe if we did that and blocked the company's name out, to see the process, like, I mean, we're given a list, and for each scenario, there's no script. There's just like for instance, like a lot of the ones we had to do last night was um, get insurance auto quote, okay, and it will say uh, customer has to get frustrated at customer service rep, and you have to call the company by the wrong name, and you have to start out indirectly and then get to your point, and like you gotta like talk about.
They want a typical caller or somebody
Yeah,
calling in so that the person listening to that is going to relate to
yeah,
what's going on.
yeah. And it's just like, so I write down the little notes for each call, and I have no idea what scenario or story I'm going to come up with. And Coco's just like, well, what are you going to say? I'm like, I have no idea. She's like, what do you mean you have no idea? I'm like, I have no idea. Just hit record and let's go. And whatever comes out, comes out. And that's how we do it.
Yeah, but you probably might do more than one or of them. Is that right?
I mean, yesterday we did 25 of them. So
yeah, but I'm saying is you probably do more than one. Like if it's a particular one that they want you to do, you probably do more than one versions of it.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And you pick out the best version out of it. Because here's the thing, teaching somebody, so you've got all these different categories of things that they want you to get into the conversation and they want you to do and make up as you're doing. Okay. And so here's what you've got. You've got this, these limit, they want you to be creative, but they've got limits on how it wants to be done. That way, otherwise it's not going to be focused and it's not going to have okay. So I just know this from being a guitar teacher, is that is something that's highly sought after for people that have businesses. They have all these ideas of what they need, examples of what they need, but they don't know how to put it all together, and they pay you to do that.
Right.
Okay. So as a guitar teacher, it's like you're teaching somebody, how do you make up a solo? Well, how do I improvise? How do I learn to improvise? It's like, you're teaching. Well, I don't know what notes to play. How do I make it work? It's the same kind of thing. It's a little more. Your talent that you've developed is a lot more than you think it is what I'm saying.
You are always usually one of the first people to point that out.
Have other people said that?
It's usually you or Coco are the first two people to point that stuff out.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. If you tried to teach it to somebody, you would think, well, why don't you already know this? But you've been doing it for years and years. Of course you know it. But you have to have, it would be a process to get somebody to get to the point to where they could improvise.
Right.
And it's generally, they have this thing called the Law of Integrative Complexity. And so that means that you've got all this knowledge and you're able to draw from the knowledge in order to put it together into one little package. Okay.
Wise words always.
So that's what you're doing with your ability to, like they have limits on, okay, we want this, and this, and we want this point to be brought out, and you want the customer to be a typical person that's this customer. But again, like we say, every single one of them is not a keeper.
Right.
Every single one that you submit to them you might do 3 different versions of that particular scenario that they want you to do it. And eventually you'll refine it. And the other thing, the intuitive thing that you have that other people don't know is that it gets to, you have an intuitive point to where you know this one's working. This one's working. I'm satisfied. This is good enough. I'm going to send this. And other people are like, how do you know when it's good enough? Well, yeah, because you've done it enough to where you see, and you've done it in other ways and in other situations to where you can see where there's some magic in that particular one you submit.
You can feel it. Just like when I do interviews, like I can feel it in my heart when it's really flowing good and going good.
Yeah, but you listen back, don't you?
Nah,
You never listen to it to know? Okay.
I can know. I know like if it's going wrong or whatever, no, cut it, stop, let's start over.
Yeah, but how do you know that you brought up all the points that they wanted you to bring up?
Oh, I have a checklist for each one.
Okay.
I write down a checklist for each call.
Okay. Okay. And so that's really so you have an intuitive thing where you know when it's the quality that meets your standards.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not that, you might say that was good, but I can do it better.
Mm-hmm.
That's like an introspective thing. That's really hard for people.
Yeah.
That's another one that, see, a lot of this stuff is more, your talent is way more developed than other people know. But the people that are hiring you, they know it because they've got to get these things done. They've got to get this down so that they can train their people, and they've got to get it organized. And they know, hey, that was good enough. That was good. I couldn't have came up with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying him to do it. And what's great is you got an agency that's going to do it, that's going to sell it for you to different companies.
Yeah. And when we first started doing this last month, like the first few times we were doing it, we're like, this is hard. This is really hard. And at one point we quit. We're like, screw it. Like, nah, this is too much. This is too crazy. And then we were like, yeah, let's give it another shot. And then we were able to get the formula down to where we were able to, like, we were like overthinking it way too much and making it too hard. And then we got a formula down, and now we're able to pump them out.
Yeah, but getting to that formula was the hard part.
It was. It absolutely was.
Yeah. Getting to that formula was the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend who taught guitar he was in the same teaching studios as I was. And his thing is that anything you're going to do requires a depth of knowledge and all kind of stuff, and a depth of understanding. So, and when you first start, I mean, the first ones don't come out very good.
No, exactly.
A lot of stuff. Yeah. So, but I got news for you though. The more you do, you're still going to keep learning it, and you're going to get to points even on the new ones. Like when you go to another company, that you're doing them for, you're going to have times where it's going to seem like it's really hard, even again, probably. I would guess.
Probably.
And the hardest part is coming up with the formula that works for them. And then once you get that formula, you'll be right there doing it. And then eventually some of them you'll be able to really do really easy for a long time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Oh.
So is that our outro music, or what was that?
That was actually, I just got my Spotify 2021 Wrapped, and I wanted to see what, I didn't know I was going to start playing music. So.
Okay. So that's really exciting on all that stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing the real estate show that Bay Ragni is doing it's going to be on the Bay Ragni show too.
Well, it's going to be under a different name, but it's going to be on same network and all, under Totally Driven.
Mm-hmm. And now the network is mainly, what is it, just going to be on YouTube only, Facebook?
On Facebook too, Facebook and YouTube.
But it's not going to be on the podcast like networks and stuff like that, like it was.
No, all I'm doing anymore is just Facebook and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm limiting like before I was doing, like 5 or 6 different outlets between audio and stuff like that. And, I decided, what, I'm kind of just limiting myself down to send people to like 1 or 2 places. And in a perfect world, I would love for it just to be YouTube, but, until it gets to a point where the monetization is worth it on just YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you just don't know what it's evolving into.
Exactly.
But it is exciting. And I was thinking another thing about how, they usually say if you want an opinion about another person ask a woman, because they're so intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying that Coco really notices that, like, wow, this you're actually doing a lot more talent than you know you're using.
Yeah.
And so that women can really notice that. They really notice their intuitiveness about us is just amazing.
And plus, on top of it, she has just as much talent as I do. She's very talented in all this entertainment stuff as well, and she's been doing. She was involved with music for many years, and she actually had a developmental deal with Island Def Jam Records, and she's
Was
done.
that with singing or songwriting, or what was that with?
Yeah, singing, songwriting.
Really? So
Yeah.
does she recordings or anything like that out there?
She has some stuff, but it never got officially released. But she
Mhm.
has, like, her and her sister used to have a pop band years ago, and so she did that for many years, and she did stand up comedy, and
Well, her sister's done some reality shows and stuff.
yeah.
But again, no matter what, we're a lot of us are really, really talented, but we are all talented in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, but I was complimenting her too in her ability to bring out the best in us, because she knows that. And so, Coco Daddy, Frankie Legend, this guy, he's really quite a guy himself too. So
He is the ultimate. He's the man.
and I can tell he loves being on camera. He must love going to those sales. He loves going to
He does.
He loves going to the houses. He loves meeting the people and talking to the people. He loves going to the restaurants
Every day. He if we could, he would be with us every day doing that. He loves it.
I think he loves meeting the people too.
He does. Totally.
All different kinds of people all over the place, and you just never know what to meet.
Exactly.
Okay, so it sounded like the outro music was going. Did you have share what you've been doing lately, babe?
What's that?
Did you have anything else you wanted to share with the people that you've been doing?
I think that's about it for now. I think we covered a lot of bases. And anything you want to share? Do you want people to contact you? Because
they can contact me on Facebook. That's
okay.
Good. But I was going to ask you about Coco's music. Now, was that in the 90s?
Actually 2000s.
Oh, 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And was that like pop music or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was a developmental deal, which means that like a record company pays and helps her to try to develop her talent because they can see there's something there.
Yeah, that's what they were doing. They had they were writing studio work. They had a bunch of stuff, and they were working on a lot of stuff in New York, and then they were sent for like 6 weeks to record stuff out in Kansas, and yeah, I mean,
New York to Kansas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so she's not doing the music right now at all.
Nah. She wants to. She really she that's her true passion. She loved songwriting, and she wants to really do more songwriting than anything anymore. She would love to get back into that.
Does she want to like go and pitch songs like country and pop songs because that's where you live in Nashville? That's the kind of place that you do that.
That's what she would truly love to do that.
Mm-hmm. So is that what she would be interested in, or?
Oh, for sure.
And so, I was just it would be not just pop, but it would be country or anything that's any kind of music that's a good song that could be played in any popular music.
Exactly.
And but did she ever have any of her songs picked up by any bigger artists?
No.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of there's they have one song that they had that her sister's husband is actually a singer-songwriter here in Nashville, and he reworked it and made it kind of like an acoustic rock song. Mm-hmm. And one night, like I think it was actually like New Year's Eve last year, like he broke out the guitar and he started playing it, and then them two sang it as he played, and it was freaking amazing. Like we were jamming out to it, and I was like, wow, this, you guys should like record a version of it like this instead of the pop version you guys did years ago.
Mm-hmm. So it's all about just any kind of song that would be popular. You could do any different style.
Oh yeah.
She's not really going for any one genre. She just wants a good songwriter.
Exactly.
Now, so her brother-in-law is a accomplished songwriter.
Yeah, he does songwriting here in Nashville.
Does he do that for a living, or is it
more on the side?
Mm-hmm. So so he's not doing producing or anything like that.
No.
Okay. And now her sister, Wee Wee, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
And so is she a song? Did they have a group together?
Together, yeah.
Okay. And so is that what the development deal was with both of them together?
Was with both of them, yeah.
It was a duo, so they sing harmony together and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Was it like a Wilson Phillips type thing, or was it?
No, more dance style.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More dance pop.
Yeah. So did they have backing tracks that they performed with and that kind of thing too?
Oh, that's a good question. That I don't know. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. So she doesn't really. They don't play their own instruments too much, or?
No, they had a backing band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's interesting to see. So she just probably doesn't have time to pursue it as much as she'd like to.
We would need 48 hours in one day.
Yeah. You and me too, babe.
Yeah.
We all.
I mean, like, here's like my list of things for all the different, projects I'm working on. It's just like nonstop.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about that with John Schneider from the Duke.
Yeah.
Like, how do you? I have all these lists of things that I got to get done, and then it's like something else happens. You end up doing something different. I mean, I've got all this stuff that I have collected, and I was about to talk about that, and that turned into this. Us talking here like this.
How about that, right?
Get to know you and Coco. I don't know Coco at all, but I was just curious as to what she has done. I think her sister wrote a book.
Yes.
We.
Yep.
And so was that about being in the reality show?
That was an autobiography.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so is she pursuing the music at all, or is she her thing?
She's working on a few other things,
Mm-hmm.
When she's ready to make those announcements, I'm sure she'll be on here talking about it.
Exactly, because she's got the promoter of all promoters.
There you go. There you go.
So I mean,
where'd he go? Hub, we lost you. I'll give him a second, see if he pops back on. But real quick, if anybody else wants to hop on before we hop off here, come on, hop on, say hello. Otherwise, I'm hopping off, and I'm going to get back to work on my list of things that I just showed you. So also make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Chris Cinzak from Decibel Geek Podcast and Rockin' Pod, he shared out the link. Thank you so much, Chris. And we are at, let me do a quick refresh. We are at 964, 36 more subscribers we need. So come on, get us over the hump, bring us on. Let's go, go, go. So maybe Hub's not coming back on. All right, well, I guess I'm going to hop off then. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for my guest tonight. Thanks for Chris Cinzak, Decibel Geek Podcast, Rockin' Pod. Thanks to LJ from Rat Rod. Go see them Friday night at the Rusty Nail in Ardmore, Pennsylvania with our good friend Scattered Hamlet. Thanks to Santa Kringle. Check him out. And thanks to Hub. And I think that was everybody. You had the chance to come on. You snooze, you lose. Next show, come on, be a guest, come and talk, ask questions, do what you want to do, and promote what you got, and let's see. And at that point, we will be over 1,000. Let's make it happen. Until next time,